Hello and welcome back. This is DruVision IT Consulting. It is September 2023. I'm thrilled that you're here. We're going to continue in our series of IT Quick Bites, IT Concepts in 5 minutes. And today we're talking about the major incident process. That's a part of ITIL framework and the ITSM process overall. ITIL, if you recall from our prior episodes, hope you tuned in, is IT infrastructure library. ITSM is IT service management. So this is a major incident process. So we're going to dive a little bit into what is it, who is involved in it, and what do they do. So stay tuned. Be sure to click like and subscribe. Let's dive right into it. So the major incident process. What is it? Here's a pretty good chat GPT definition. More and more of us are using AI these days, so let's put it to work. I agree with this definition. Essentially, a major incident is a designation made by a business on when something truly business impacting is occurring. And it's a special process that's different than your standard process in that you're going to bring more resources to bear. So, going into this, what are the roles in a major incident? Right. So we've got our help desk. That's the first line of defense. They're the ones who receive the ticket from either a monitoring tool or a live human being. They're going to triage it and they're potentially going to declare as a major incident right away or route it to resolvers, which we'll get to in just a second. In the event that they know it's a major incident, they will engage the major incident manager, right? And our major incident manager's role is to, again, reassess whether or not it truly is a major incident, to set up a bridge call, maybe a phone call or a Teams meeting, WebEx, what have you, and to start bringing in the resources required to address the major incident. They could use notification systems like X Matters, email, phone calls, etc. But they're going to bring all of the necessary people to the major incident meeting. So, of course, we've got our resolvers. Resolvers are ultimately who diagnoses what's wrong, potentially fixes it. They could be from one queue, they could be from many queues. Most of the time in a major incident, you want to work in parallel, not serial. And what that means is you're not going to wait for the server infrastructure OS team to say, well, it's not the OS. Maybe kick it to the networking team, right? You're going to bring a lot of these known resources together immediately so they can all start running checks, right? Um, so that's your resolvers. That's your people who fix things. Of course, you've got your office of IT, and your office of IT, that'd be your IT leadership. Maybe it's your CIO, it's your VP of infrastructure, services, et cetera, possibly process information owners. They're the ones who liaise with the business to really assess impact and to bring their expertise to help keep the resolvers moving quicker or even potentially help fix it themselves in many cases. And of course, lastly, you've got your business leaders, right? These would be maybe it's your VP of sales, it's your channels leader, marketing, office of finance, et cetera, right? These are the people in the business who need to know, right? They're the ones who ultimately own the application and the benefits thereof, right? So you've got to make sure that your major incident process includes all of these roles. And then, of course, what happens during a major incident? Well, of course, there's the initial triage. What's wrong? This particular NetSuite application is down, or what have you, right? What's wrong, right? Triage isn't necessarily assessing impact. That can be part of that process, but generally, it's not your resolvers. Your resolvers are technical people. They're figuring out what's wrong, right? It's up to your business as part of the major incident process really to establish that impact, whether it's documented in advance as part of your process or it's agreed to live during the actual major incident management. Of course, there's notifications, right? So notifications is notifying your resolvers they need to come to this call. It's notifying your business leaders, your IT leaders that they need to. Here's where the meeting room where we are all collectively looking at the problem, assessing what it is and what to do about it. So you've got to notify these people to join. Maybe you're using a paging system like X Matters. Maybe you've got an email distribution list, phone calls, et cetera, right? So that's what notifications are. And of course, we've got communication. Communication is different, right, than notification. Notifications is letting people know something's going on, but it's not really saying anything about it. Saying, come here as a notification. Communication is to your business users, your customers, your executive leadership team, etc. And it's going to be an agreed to email generally, communication of what's wrong, how are we trying to fix it in high level detail. They don't need a technical memoir, but who's engaged, how do we fix it, how long do we think it'll be until operations are back up and running business as usual. So that's really what communication is about. And of course, there's resolution. That's where you actually have a resolution plan that you're going to follow. Sometimes you adjourn the major incident prior to the actual resolution. Like if you're like, yep, this will definitely work. Okay, you guys can go. Um, or other times you keep everybody there, fingers crossed, hoping that your proposed resolution actually works and resolves the problem. And then lastly, there's a root cause analysis process, which is a separate process, but it is part of a major incident every single time, right? You don't want major incidents to reoccur. So RCA is the documentation, the root cause analysis of whether you use five whys or some other means. It's a way that you document. We really understand what happened as an IT organization, and here's how we're going to prevent it from happening again, right? And maybe you have to enter the problem process or something else as a result, but that's really RCA is when you truly close out the major incident. So I hope you have a better understanding of the major incident process and its relationship to the overall ITIL ITSM incident process. And so if you like this video, hit like and subscribe and stay tuned for more great content from DruVision IT Consulting. Thanks for watching.